Hi, I'm Meera Allen with your Manifesting Destiny Moon Update. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And we go through the new moons and the full moons, and in between I do little manifesting tips just to help your life be better. So let's go through the times for this second new moon in Aries that we're having, which is incredible. 20th of April in London at 5:12 a.m. Sydney, Australia, 20th of April at 2:12 in the afternoon. 19th of April for LA at 9:12 p.m. New York, 20th of April at 12 minutes past midnight. So it's not just a new moon in Aries again that we had literally 28 days ago. It's going to be a new moon in Aries with an eclipse. And also there's a square to Pluto, and Pluto is that planet that's just sits on the edge of our solar system. It's just, a little bit out there. I've talked about it in previous videos about how it's considered a dwarf planet, and sometimes it doesn't even get considered that it is one of the actual planets in our solar system, when it really is, because it's circling around our sun with Jupiter and with Mercury and with Venus and Mars and with everybody else, So what is it about Pluto making this square to this new moon eclipse in Aries at the moment that's important? Pluto gives us a perspective that's a bit left field, that sometimes comes out of the blue. Sometimes there's a chance encounter with this new moon in Aries. Again, it's like a second chance to have a look at where you were literally 28 days ago. What were you learning? What were you opening to? What was your position in life? What were you focusing on at that time? And who or what experience or situation came into your space? And what have you learned from 4 weeks ago to where you're sitting right now at not the same, but a similar new moon in Aries? And if you want to look back at my last video, that was new moon in Aries, looking at it like a brand new astrological new year. It's when the ram starts. It's when we start to ramp up ourselves and what we really want. We get our intentions really clearly set, and we start to charge ahead and forge for it. But now that we've had that full moon in Libra in between, which is the opposing sign of Aries, we ask ourselves, but where have we found some balance? And it was weird. I picked a card earlier, just before I did the video. I was kind of like, I feel like picking cards first. And this was from the moon deck. This was the card that I chose for the collective consciousness of what is it that we need to know. And it says full moon in Pisces, but it says balance, spirituality, and practicality. And that's what happens between this Aries and that opposing full moon in Libra. Remember, the Libra is the scales. It's always going for justice. It's always looking for where we want to balance things out. We're always looking for equilibrium. And then Aries is the fire. Where do we get the fire and the motivation to bring that equilibrium into our lives? And Pluto throws this out there perspective that maybe you never thought of before. Maybe you didn't consider that previously. Maybe you didn't consider that career path previously. Maybe you didn't consider that possibility was even available to you. Maybe you didn't consider a relationship that would look like that, or, see your possibilities. How can you expand? And I did also choose another card, and that was a really powerful card, I feel personally, for this new moon in Aries. Nobody else knows except your own inner knowing. And this card came out, Medicine Mother, and it was about your inner knowing. Where can you honor your inner knowing? And that's one of the sometimes most difficult things to do with this world of information and so much tech and messages and information from so many things around us that can bombard our eyes and our brain. But it is only us that has access to the true medicine, which is your own inner knowing of what you want your next right step to be. Your own inner knowing, when you go into those silent spaces, what is actually right for you. You know what brings you peace, and you know what it is you need to do. What are the steps that you can take so you can live a much more fulfilling, harmonious, and peaceful life? Only you really truly know. We can read all the books, we can study all the things, we can listen to the podcasts, we can do all of those things. But we only sincerely know after going through, especially this past month, what a journey it's been. Personally, it's been a huge journey for myself. I've had to really look at the dynamics of my relationships, look at what I want to look like in my career. I'm shifting that too. And there's been so many changes in every facet of my life. I'm barely keeping on top of it all, but it's been so cool to witness and to watch. And in between, going to candlelight orchestras and things, it's been such a radical shift. What have you radically shifted in this past 4 weeks? Go and reflect. Have a look back at your journals or your diaries or wherever you were literally 4 weeks ago on that last new moon in Aries. And we get this second chance, another new moon in Aries. When the sun and the moon are in the exact same constellation. So right at 0 degrees in Aries, we had the sun and the moon in that alignment. And then we get the sun and the moon again in that end. Also the closure of a cycle. What have you let go of just recently in the last 5-6 days of this waning phase of the moon? What have you released out of you? What old beliefs or thoughts or limited thinking? What have you shifted? There's a lot. There's really a lot in this time. So I'm going to pick one more card. So the first card that I got out was the balance your spirituality and your practicality. So, and I really feel that was linked to that full moon in Libra that we had 2 weeks ago. Honor your inner knowing. Only you know your inner divine guidance, and you know what it is that you truly want and need. And let's finally, I love Rebecca Campbell. Shout out to you, Rebecca Campbell. I'm going to meet you one day. I want to make you some chai. This one is from her Oracle, what's it called? Her Lightworkers Oracle deck. So let's call in the collective consciousness, your higher guides from the quantum spirit and the inner knowing of what the collective needs to hear right now on this second chance new moon in Aries. Wow. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level and deep healing. Have a look at that. That's powerful. Where is your transformation right now? Where is your deep, deep healing begun? What have you noticed where things for you are changing at a cellular level? I always like to go a little bit quantum. For those of you that watch my manifesting videos, you know that that's what I do. And, when you break things down into your cellular level, you go into the smaller particles inside the nucleus, inside the atomic particle, inside the subatomic particle, it all becomes light. Little tiny particles of light waves forms that create a frequency. What is matching your frequency? What are you attracting into your sphere? Where is your frequency at? It's getting pretty chilly at the moment, and I felt this morning it was like I needed to get in that ocean, and even though it was cold, it was like I'm getting in, having that swim and matching that energy, and I'm so glad that I got in how to swim. So what is that transformation for you? Where are things changing for you at a cellular level? I know me, this time last year, I would have been freezing cold. I would never have gotten the ocean. But now I'm like, no, I want to. I feel it. I'm getting in. So something in my cellular level has shifted around that even. But what have you noticed just in your own inner transformation? I'll show you this image again. Where is that transformation for you? Where are you your own inner alchemist? Where can you take your own imagination and alchemize what you're currently existing to be exactly what you imagined your new moon intention was? We get that same form 4 weeks ago. How can we balance that deep inner healing and deep inner transformation and reconcile those two parts of ourselves? And it's also, in brain and heart coherence. How does your brain reconcile the feelings of your heart? How do you find that balance as well? For me, it's certainly been using my voice and using word, because your brain, what you think, and then what your heart, what you're feeling, manifests in the center of what your words, your speech is. your sound, the way you speak, the way your inner dialogue speaks. So there is some deep healing, but remember to see that from an objective point of view, with that Plutonian part of us that's, circling right on the outside. So quite an interesting time that we're in, where we get to question our values, what's most important to us. We get to align ourselves with the people and the thinkers and the doers and the feelers that are in a same frequency as ourselves. Anyway, happy new moon in Aries. And whatever those true inner desires are for you, allow them to come in and surrender to that inner guidance, that inner knowing. We all have that when we create the time and space and stillness. This has been a longer read than I would usually do. And for those of you that don't know, I have done an entire 3-month vocal confidence course based on brain-heart coherence. So if you felt there were things that you couldn't speak up, or you haven't shifted your inner dialogue, or you have trauma stuck in your body, have a look at the link below. I'll link it into the bottom of this video. Happy new moon and eclipse. Wipe that slate clean, start anew, and find that inner transformation. My name is Meera Allen. Please subscribe, share, and comment if you have something that you want to mention. I'd love to hear it. Namaste.